Today with me the legend of martial arts from Redditch, a man who has some amazing fights, Chris Rees. Hello, Chris.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm right, and you?
Very good, thank you, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your time here for me, and I'm very happy. How is your form 4 weeks before your fight?
Yeah, I'm feeling very good, yeah. Feeling where I need to be, feeling very fit. Just can't wait for the fight now. Yeah,
Yeah, nice. Some special emotion for you?
No, not really. I mean, it's just the same as any other fight. As you know, I haven't fought for quite a while, well, 7 years. But I've always wanted to do the bare-knuckle boxing, and as it's become popular recently, I thought now's my time. You know, I'm 42 now, so now's the time to do something I've always wanted to do before it's too late.
Yeah. 42. Yeah, it's good age for doing something like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting up there in the years, isn't it? But I mean, there's bare-knuckle boxers older than me that are doing it. So yeah, I mean, like I say, I feel fitter than I've ever felt. So age is just a number, and it doesn't bother me at all. So I'm just having this one just to tick the box, and then relax and just do the training from then on, I think.
Yeah, nice. Okay, first question: how your adventure with martial arts start? When you start?
Well, I started quite late actually. I was 22 years old, not long come out of the army. I started doing security work, and I thought I just wanted to do something to make sure I was, you know, be able to defend myself. And I started off doing Thai boxing, actually here in this gym, and boxing at the same time. Not long after I started training, I had a couple of fights very soon after, which I won both of those. I did that for a couple of years, and then a friend of mine who's quite well known in the MMA world, Ross Mason at that time, I had a bit of a grapple with him. I had no idea about the grappling, and I'm quite ignorant to it, like most people were at the time, not so much now, but he got me in a couple of locks, and I thought, bloody hell, I need to know this, you know, and this is something I need to know. If there's people out there that can do that to you so easily, and that's what got my sort of love for the grappling and the martial arts. So that's where it all started, really.
What was your career like? How many fights you got? Was just MMA or boxing or Thai boxing?
Well, I had two. The first two fights were Thai boxing, which I won both of those, and then I've had various boxing fights, which range from amateur, pro, unlicensed, white collar. I've probably had about 10, maybe a few more of those in total, but I've had, I think it's 26, I had 26 pro MMA fights, so that's been the majority of my fights. But yeah, it's been a bit of a mix of Thai boxing and boxing to start, and then MMA, and now bare-knuckle boxing. Yeah.
You fight just here in UK or in different country too?
Well, it was mainly in the UK, except I did fight in Japan the one time, in Tokyo, yeah. So yeah, that's the furthest I've travelled.
Sounds good, really.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what is different between BKB and boxing? Of course, in BKB you don't have gloves,
Yeah.
but what is different between, you know, punches, attack, defense?
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, the only difference is, of course, like you said, you don't wear any gloves, but of course, you know, you can't train with no gloves for bare-knuckle boxing. Some people say, so do you train? But you know, you wouldn't even be able to get out the training phase. You'd be all bust up, wouldn't you? So, the only things I would say was different is I think you need to condition your hands slightly more, obviously to give them a best chance of not breaking so easily on the night. And then the only other thing I would say is there's a slight difference in range, because obviously with the glove, you've probably got that extra bit, and if you didn't sort of hit the bag or whatever without gloves, just to get that range, I think that would be, well, I think it's a good thing to do anyway, just like I said, just so you've got that extra range. I mean, when I'm hitting the bag with no gloves on, I don't hit it too hard, to be honest. I just hit it just to get the range and just to toughen my knuckles up a little bit, like I say. So that's about the only difference, I mean, really. All the rest of the training, it's, you know, it's all in the normal size gloves and what have you. Like I said, it's very hard to sort of train specifically for it, except for them few little points that I mentioned. So.
Yeah, it's a good idea to do some sparring with MMA gloves.
Some people have said that, but again, it's not something I would really recommend. I mean, you could do it but it'd have to be very gentle because even with the MMA gloves, they can cut. And with the sparring MMA gloves, they're very little difference to an actual boxing glove anyway. So I don't think you'd really gain much from that. So I think just to get your timing and your range, I think you can just hit the bag to do that, and I think that's enough for me anyway. That's what I think.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. What training element are most important in preparation?
Strength element. What do I think is most important?
Yeah.
Well, as for I think any martial art, is probably your fitness. You know, your engine, if you like. You know, if you can be the most talented sort of boxer in the world and look very good, but if you're not fit after a round or two, someone that may not be as technical as you can start coming through because they've just got more heart, they've got more engine to keep going. So yeah, I think conditioning, and fitness is the most important for me, I think.
Okay, thank you. Next question. What do you know about your opponent?
Well, actually, I have fought him before. I fought him in MMA. It's probably well over 10 years ago now. I don't remember much about the fight. All I remember, he had to retire after the first round because he tried to catch block one of my kicks, and it broke his wrist or his arm there. Ooh. So that was the end of that. So yeah, I'm sure he's looking. I'm sure he's glad to get the fight so he can try and even up the score. So, but I'm very happy to take the fight again as well. So that's great.
He got a first fight too.
Yeah, it's his first fight on the Bare-knuckle arena. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Respect for him, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
How old he is?
I believe he's about 37, so he's about 5 years younger than me. So it's 37, 38, I think. Yeah. Okay. So we're both getting up there older. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next question. What do you think about the current level of English boxing?
Well, to be quite honest, I know there's been a bit of a resurgence in boxing and interest in boxing lately, which is good. But as with all the martial arts I've competed in, a lot of people expect me to know everything and be an expert on everything else that's going on in that world. But I've never really been so much a fan myself. More, I like to do it myself, and I like to fight, but I'm not so much of a fan, and I don't really watch a lot of boxing I never used to watch a lot of MMA. Like I said, people always used to ask me my advice on who do I think is going to win, and sometimes I go, who's he? I don't know who he is. It's just something I like to do myself. So I wouldn't really know, to be honest, if I'm about that question. So.
Okay, maybe this question: what do you think? What is good age to start training martial arts?
Well, I think the earlier the better. Really, I mean, I say that. I mean, about 6 or 7 years old, you can start doing martial arts. It's the same as anything, isn't it? And if you want to become good at anything, it's repetition. Repeating the same thing and getting good at doing that over and over again. And of course, when you're young, your brain soaks up all that. For instance, a child can learn 2 or 3 languages at once when they're a child easily, and it's because of the way that their brain is set up for taking in all that information. So the earlier the better, pretty much, I think. Yeah.
Okay, Chris, how long you train here in Fitness Unlimited?
Well, to be honest, when I first come to Redditch 20 years ago, this gym was still in Redditch but elsewhere, and I started off then. So I've been coming to Fitness Unlimited for almost 20 years. Yeah, it's changed owners a few times over the years, and quite a few of them have been actually good friends of mine as well. So yeah, they've always looked after me up here, and I've always enjoyed coming up here. And now it's expanded a bit more as well. It's even better for an aspiring martial artist. You've got the boxing, they do jiu-jitsu, and they've got all the cardio and weights equipment now. So yeah. But yeah, I'll always train here as long as I'm in Redditch.
Yeah, Chris, who helped you prepare for this fight?
Well, I've got various different people, friends around me that I use for sparring, and sometimes I travel away out of Redditch to spar different people. obviously Khan and Tobias here helped me. Obviously, you know, they let me use the gym and what have you. And yeah, I've got various different people that I do sort of weights and what have you with. But I mean, apart from the sparring, I mean, I do a lot of it on my own now. You know, I've got Brian White who takes me on the pads as well. But a lot of it, you know, I've done this now for, you know, 15 odd years, and I know sort of what I need to do. So yeah, I've got those various people around me that I can use to sparring with, but I've got no sort of coach as such, if that's what you're talking about. I have done it in the past before, but I think it's quite a simple formula what I need to do. I know, you know, how fit I've got to be, how much I've got to train. That way I know how, you know, who to spar and how often to spar and all that sort of things, and what I've got to do to sort of change it around a little bit for the bare knuckle boxing. Like, so yeah, it's pretty much me on my own and sort of doing what I want when I want, sort of thing, and just including all the training that I need to include, really.
Okay, thank you. Do you have some wish message for young people?
Well, yeah, I mean, like you say, there's a lot of disillusioned people or younger people out there, I suppose, that they feel that there's not a lot going on or not a lot of support for them. But yeah, I'd say join your local boxing or martial arts classes. It definitely did good things for me, but before I started doing the martial arts, I used to go out drinking and fighting a lot, but then I started doing the martial arts and that sort of calmed down. So it's definitely a good thing to get into, yeah, definitely.
And okay, thank you for your time. For me, thank you for this interview, and what I can say, good luck for your fight. And I know a lot of people here from Redditch, they're going over there to support you, and then see you over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Game for pub, guys.